Hello, I'm Belkis Perez. Thanks for watching Coral Gables Television. Today on Coral Gables Now, soon this art piece will be installed outside a new building for all to admire. Plus, sunscreen is not the only thing you should be concerned with when you head outdoors this summer. Heat stroke is a serious problem. We've got some tips to help you stay safe. And accessories are all the rage this summer. We'll have the tips on how to pull off the perfect look. Those stories and much more. Coral Gables Now starts right now. Hello and welcome to Coral Gables Now. I'm Belkis Perez. July and August are historically the hottest months. South Floridians are used to the heat, but too much of it can cause serious health conditions such as heat stroke. So joining us today to give us some tips on how to stay safe in this summer weather is Captain John Curry from the fire department. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
So, you know, we're basically used to it. We are used to the heat. We live here year-round. So are we immune to something like heat stroke or heat exhaustion?
No, we're not. Unfortunately, it affects everyone. People that exercise, doing yard work, it can have a negative effect on you before you even know it.
So then, okay, it's true. If you don't know it, then what symptoms can you look for? If you're outside, you know, we all experience the heat and just feeling tired, but is that one of the symptoms? One
of the first conditions you're going to notice is heat cramps. That's when your muscles start to cramp, and the treatment for that would be just, you know, moving the patient from the hot area to a cooler area and start, you know, maybe stretching the affected muscle.
Okay, and that's because they're not hydrated, right?
Exactly.
They don't have enough water in their system? Okay, and then we've got another one. First it's cramps and then?
Heat exhaustion is a condition where, you know, your skin turns pale, cool, and moist. The body sweats to cool you, you know. So what happens is when your body loses its ability to cool, you know, that's when you get into the heat exhaustion cycle. That's an emergency situation that should be treated. The treatments are very similar to the heat cramp, and that you want to put them in a cooler place and then start giving them fluid replacement. Slowly give them the fluid, not ice cold fluid,
right?
And cool them accordingly.
Who would get, like, what situation would you experience heat exhaustion?
Athletes, people that are jogging in high humidity situations, when it's rained the day before and there's a lot of 80% humidity in the air, and then the temperature is in the 80s, you're in that danger zone where your body cannot cool itself quick enough. Those are the people that are going to be affected with that the most. In addition to that, I would say that heavy or strenuous yard work, things of that nature, are going to have an effect on you like that.
So you shouldn't do that type of stuff when you see that there's a lot of humidity.
Prevention is, you know, 90%.
Yeah. And then what's the other one?
The bad one that we're looking at, and this should elicit a 911 call immediately, is heat stroke, and that's when your body shut down. You'll notice it because the body becomes bright red in appearance, and you are not sweating at that point. Your body's lost its ability to effectively cool itself, and it's starting to shut down. So that's a real emergency there.
Let me ask you, I remember like 2 years ago I was running, and it was on a July 4th, and the sun was out, and I did it right at noon. And I remember I couldn't get through the run, and I went home, and it was just this lethargic state for the rest of the day. Now, so is that something that I probably experienced?
Heat exhausted.
So you cannot basically run.
Yeah, you stress
yourself. You should
yourself.
not run in the middle of the day like that.
No, common sense. And if you are going to run, you know, preparation is, you know, hydrate is what they say.
Okay. And so, you know, we've seen also some people just driving to work and back. I see a lot of people that have these huge winter coats, or they have sweater upon sweater, and they're running with that.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to do is drop a lot of weight. That's the secret there. And then
isn't that dangerous?
Yeah, they're just shedding the water, and the minute they're done with their exercise, what do? They go back and replenish and gain that weight back on.
So it's not a healthy...
No. They're
Okay.
going to benefit from the run, but the water goes on and off.
So, so definitely when you have those symptoms of heat stroke, then you should call.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So
And your body is basically shutting down at that
basically,
moment.
yeah, it's shunting the blood to the core, your body's core.
You think seniors are more at risk, or are they out as often as younger?
Seniors have a
generation?
tendency to not drink enough to begin with, so that we have to pay special attention to that. And for some reason, they don't need the air conditioner as much as the young people, so typically their homes will be a little hotter, and then they'll forget to drink. Typically when you're thirsty, you're already 5% dehydrated. So
the fact that you're already feeling thirsty is an indication that you're 5%.
You are already in the early stages of
Wow.
dehydration.
Okay, so getting it early is key. Well, thank you, Captain. Basically, we have to stay hydrated, and you should take at least something. If you're going to go for a long walk or you're going to be outside, you should have something next to you.
Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.
All right. Thank you very much. And if you want more information on heat-related illnesses, you can always visit the American Heart Association at heart.org. Up next on Coral Gables Now, large African snails have been found near the southern boundary of the city. We'll tell you why you should be on the lookout for these snails on City News. And later, pop-up restaurants are the latest global food trend. We'll take you to one located right here in Coral Gables. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Carlos from your local fire department with another safety tip. Each year, more than 2,500 people die in home fires, and almost 2/3 of those deaths happen in homes where smoke detectors are not working.
Smoke detectors are your first line of defense against deadly fires, but they cannot protect you if they don't work. Your local fire department wants to keep you and your family safe should a fire break out in your home. So please follow a few simple rules. Make sure you have smoke detectors on each level of your home and outside each sleeping areas. Test your smoke detectors monthly and change the batteries in your smoke detectors at least once a year. A good rule of thumb to help you remember when to change the battery of your smoke detector is at the change of daylight saving time. When you change the time on your clock, change the battery in your smoke detector. Early warnings from a smoke detector alarm can make the difference between surviving a fire or dying in one.
It's a plain and simple fact. Working smoke detectors save lives. We want you to be safe, not sorry.
On this edition of City News, if you've been outside lately, you've noticed mosquito season is here. Those annoying little insects can also transmit diseases such as West Nile virus, dengue fever, encephalitis, malaria, and dog heartworm. Residents experiencing swarms of mosquitoes are encouraged to contact Miami-Dade County's Mosquito Control Division by calling 311. Resident complaints are serviced either by truck spraying, aerial spraying, or by site inspections. In other news, residents in Southern Gables need to be on the lookout for giant African land snails. The snail was spotted in unincorporated Miami-Dade County, near the city's southern boundary. The Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services is now conducting a survey in the area. If you live around Sunset Drive and 52nd Avenue and you think you spotted these invasive pests, please contact 1-888-397-1517 to make arrangements to have the snails collected. Giant African land snails are known to cause structural damage to plaster and stucco and carry a parasite that can lead to meningitis in humans. And finally, these large, beautiful bird sculptures will soon be on display for everyone to see. The artist is putting the final touches on 4 bird sculptures which will adorn the side of a new building on the corner of Ponce de Leon Boulevard and Catalonia Avenue. This will be the first art project to take place in Coral Gables under the Art in Public Places program. This is Tanya Leitz for City News.
All right, thanks, Tanya. Still to come on the show, we'll have the latest trends in summer fashion. Plus, temporary restaurants are a resurfacing trend. One recently popped up in the Gables. We'll take you there, too.
Can I help you, sir?
Found these over by the stairs.
Okay, thank you.
What are they?
Love handles. Lots of people lose them taking the stairs instead of the escalator.
Welcome back. Summer fashion is all the rage right now, and here to give us some tips on how to accessorize is Sarah Zamikoff. She is the owner of Emporium right here in the Gables. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You know, we were talking, and I really think that this summer it's all about fun, having fun. A lot of the colors that we're seeing, they're bold colors, but really the accessories we've noticed is what really puts it all together. It's one of the most important elements. Can you tell me a little bit about that trend?
Absolutely. We have several things that we brought today to go over that really are what summer accessorizing is all about this year. I'm going to start off with the crossbody bag. We have a couple different varieties here. This is a more casual version of it. It's so easy. You throw it on, you go, you put everything in it. It adds another layer to your outfit, which gives a lot of interest to the outfit as well. We were talking earlier about layering pieces and adding kind of dimension to your outfit, and this does it easily and conveniently.
And then we've noticed, though, I have to say, Sarah, that now there's a trend for using the what do you call this? The band. I mean, there's basically, before it was just a clutch, and now we're seeing
and now it's the crossbody. Absolutely.
So that's the new trend.
And we're even seeing it for nighttime too. So here's a dressier version of it in an
Very nice.
animal print, which lots of animal prints, which we were discussing. Yes. And they dress it up here with the gold chain too, so you can wear it out to a nice event, to the theater, things like that.
And you know how there was always like a taboo that you shouldn't do leather or this type at least in summer, and now it's like all whole
year-round.
Yes. You can wear it anytime. Okay.
Absolutely.
And this is something that you can even wear during the day.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
It's easy and convenient, like I said. Fringe is still really in, kind of the boho chic look, which has been popular for a while, and it's not going away.
Okay. And then you've got a beautiful set of accessories. Have you always had this at your store also?
Always done accessories. A big thing we're seeing for summer right now too is the statement necklace. So you see something like this with a nice pop of color. You can pair that with a yellow blouse. Color blocking is still in.
So basically what we're seeing is that you don't really have to match your colors. So if you're wearing a light blue or a green shirt, you wouldn't necessarily wear this because it would blend in, right?
Quite the opposite, exactly what you're saying. Instead of trying to match it to that color, you would pick an opposing color, and that's what we're calling color blocking. So a solid color of a yellow or a pink against a bold necklace like that with another color scheme in it.
So, and also very chunky.
Very chunky. Bold statement pieces are what it's all about. And some of that carries over into your wrist as well, as for lots of great arm candy, which is still going on. Lots of stacking. This is a great local designer. We feature primarily local and independent designers at our store. These are also local designers. So still you're seeing a lot of the beads, lots of layering on the wrist, and then adding bright pops of color. I also brought with me two wonderful Coral Gables designers that I love, two of my absolute favorites. This is Tawdry, and she does a really great unique spin on doing monogram pieces. You know, we've all seen...
Very popular.
Yes.
All the celebrities are wearing this.
All the celebrities are wearing it. And we've all seen the big script, 3 or 2 initial monogram. She does it here with her autograph plate, so you pick your name, obviously. And then she also does it with a single letter, and she even goes into the detail of the back of it. So if it flips around on your neck, it's still beautiful no matter which way it turns.
Yeah, it's great. It's a beautiful touch, and it's a simple touch, but yes, it still makes a statement.
A wonderful detail.
Let me ask you something now that you said about Coral Gables. Why, you said a lot of local, you buy from a lot of local merchants, and you have local jewelers. Why that importance to you on local?
First of all, I think it's twofold for me. One aspect of it is it's so important to me to give back to my community, and I think that's a really great way to do it. And it brings in a lot of really wonderful, unique pieces that you aren't going to find in every other store. And people are really wanting and craving that. And, you know, to have a boutique and to make it interesting, people love hearing the story behind it and saying, you know, let's do a collaboration with this designer, and you get to meet the designer and maybe have her make a piece just for you for your wedding day or whatever special occasion it may be. people are really craving and wanting that one-on-one experience and knowing the story and the detail behind it.
How long have you had your store here?
September will be 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And always in Coral Gables?
Always in Coral Gables.
Okay. And getting back to the chains, I noticed that you've got 2 as well. And
yes.
So it's normal to do 2 at a time. You don't have
to. If not more. These 2, I never take off, and then I add more pieces to it.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So going back into what we were saying with layering. Layering, layering, layering is what it's all about.
So these are really bold colors, and added to the summer clothing that we're seeing that's very colorful. One question I do have, we've seen in a lot of young people, it looks great. How about more of the more sophisticated, older generation? Would this work for them?
There's always great ways to do what's on trend for any age and make it age appropriate. And that's something I talk with my customers about on a daily basis. I have grandmothers and I have granddaughters, and they come in together and they can both find something in my shop. You could do a pop of color and a nice belt. A belt is another great way to layer and add dimension to your outfit and do it on a much more subtle way. What we were saying earlier is if a grandmother is going to the theater and she's wearing a skirt suit, if she adds a thin belt with a slight touch of color to it, it puts her on trend, but it's still very age appropriate. We'd never put a grandmother in a neon pink. That's not age appropriate at all.
But the thin belt still puts her in that modern light.
So it updates her look, puts her on trend, and makes her feel fabulous.
Yes. And I see shoes also.
Shoes.
Very nice touch there, all the colors.
Love the flats.
Before it was brown and black, now we've got a...
Yes, we stayed very neutral. A lot of the nude colors are actually still in. We were doing nude nails for a while in late fall, early spring. And you'll still see some of it in summer, but this bright orange is the color of the season.
Yeah,
and it's not going anywhere.
Yes.
It's been great. So the bright oranges, the bright pinks, the greens, which you also see translate into nail colors as well.
Yes.
Which is also a fun way to add a touch of color. And I noticed on your nails that you're doing another great trend.
Yes.
Which is adding the one color on the ring fingers that's different than the rest.
Yeah. I'm still this is the first time I do it, and it's a little shocking to me, but I've noticed that there's a lot of women that do that now, and they match their colors to what they're wearing, and I don't know how they have time to do that, but that is another trend that's out there. So definitely what I've noticed also, that what I was telling you is that you have a little bit more fun lately with how you're dressing. There's more options out there. Before it was just the standard, for professional look, standard pearls or gold necklace, and you're out. This time there's a lot more to choose from, and so it makes it a little bit funner.
Yes, absolutely, I agree. Instead of doing just the traditional suit, what you were saying with the pearls, you can do a bright pop of color with the camisole underneath, or do a statement necklace with a nice nude suit. Brings you on trend and up to date, but still being appropriate for the environment that you're in.
We went to your store and we had a model, you picked out a specific dress. It was a maxi dress.
Yes.
And we've got that video. And it's a purple striped dress, very nice and very in right now. That is one of the trends right now.
Maxi dresses are on trend. Again, it's one of the things that has been around for quite some time. It's by a local designer, Nikki Poulos, and she was just on the new show Fashion Star. And she is known for her maxi dresses. They are so great for summer here with the extremely hot, humid temperatures that we have. The maxi dress is something that you're not only comfortable in, but you can go running errands in it, and then you can dress it up and go out to dinner in it. Throw a nice pashmina over your shoulders if you're cold in the air conditioning. Add some layers of a crossbody bag, some necklaces, some bracelets, and you've dressed it up to go out.
Yeah. And I also want to get to your storefront. You've got this unique program that you've got going on. You're getting bloggers to design your storefront. Tell me about that.
Yes, we wanted to come up with a creative new concept. Blogging is something that has really become huge and taken off.
Yes.
And Miami fashion is something that is just really exploding along with it, which is so exciting here. So we really wanted to do something that was going to highlight the fashion bloggers, obviously all based around fashion, and a way that we could help them portray their creative concepts of what they could use and show what's on trend that we have in the store at that time. So what we did is we had a kickoff event with Patricia from Miami Nice blog, and great successful event. She came in, she styled the window, and once a month we're going to have a blogger signed up to come in, style the window, put their own personal spin on it from their, we each have our own tastes and styles, and use whatever we have on trend in the store at that time.
Very interesting. Have you gotten a lot of feedback from that?
We've gotten great feedback from it. The next blogger to do it is going to be Kelly from Kelly's Closet, and she's actually been tweeting and blogging to have her followers come actually watch her do it. And make it a whole interactive thing too. So,
wow, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank
Great
you so much for having me.
Congratulations. I heard that you were named the shop of the, what was it, the local, the best local shop.
We were the editor's choice in the Miami News Times for the best clothing boutique in Miami.
And it's right here in the Gables.
Right here in the Gables.
Thank you so much. And if you want more information on the latest trends and accessories, you can visit Emporium. They're located at 2606 Ponce de Leon Boulevard. You can also visit their website. That's shopemporiummiami.com. And you've got a blog of your own that you can link up to there and get more helpful tips. We'll be right back with more of Coral Gables Now.
Take a pop quiz with me. In what film did I feel a need for speed? What was my call sign? Who did I sit behind in the F-14? Oh, and one more question. Who does your kid sit behind in homeroom?
Know what really matters. Know about your kid's school and know about your kid. Find out 100 ways to know more, do more.
An old culinary concept has resurfaced and is gaining momentum in many of the major cities across the nation, including right here in Coral Gables. Veronica Fernandez visited a pop-up restaurant right here in the city to learn why they've become so popular.
This pop-up restaurant brings a new concept to our neighborhood. Cafe Pond serves breakfast and lunch during the day, and during the evening the guys from Eating House take over the place to completely transform the atmosphere with an artsy feel. But it's not only the portable concept that makes them unique. The menu is also very particular, as they change it every day depending on the ingredients available in the market, and they even grow some of them in their own garden.
Try to capture them at their prime and then work around them. Instead of developing a dish and then finding the ingredients for that dish, we find the ingredients first and then develop the dish around that.
Rapi Cavoli and Eating House have received a lot of attention lately, as he was a winner on the Food Network's program Shopped. The young chef decided to bring his culinary abilities back to his hometown and 5 months ago opened Eating House with his friend Alex Casanova. He shows us how to make one of the staple dishes in the menu called Florida Tomatoes, which is a refreshing salad for the summer. For this recipe, you're going to need tomatoes, roasted peanuts, a Vietnamese-style vinaigrette with ginger, fish sauce and lime, frozen coconut milk, coarse sea salt, fresh basil, mint leaves, and flower petals.
The first step to the Florida tomatoes is you want to pick out some really beautiful tomatoes. You want to make sure there's a different variety of color and flavors and textures. So we're going to cut it in different shapes and sizes. So we'll start off with the green zebras. And maybe we'll just cut this one into 4. And this is going to be one of the main focal points of our dish. And you can just go immediately and start plating it. We've got a nice red and yellow tomato, which we'll cut into circles for different size. And just lay it out randomly. Got some nice midnight tomatoes here, which we'll just cut right in half. And we're just going to lay them out and finish off with this beautiful tomato that's more of a nice orange hue. Cut that one in 4s. And you're just gonna want to lay them out randomly on the plate. Now what we want to do is we want to dress our tomatoes. We have this vinaigrette here has fish sauce and ginger and lime. It's also got a touch of soy, which adds a nice salt to it. It doesn't really overpower it. You just want to make sure that tomatoes are lightly dressed and covered with it. Okay? To top off our dish, now we're going to finish it with some roasted peanuts. These peanuts really go nicely with the flavors of the fish sauce and the ginger. Really pick up those Thai and Vietnamese influence. All right. So now we've got a little bit of salt from the soy, a little bit of salt from the peanut, so a little bit of coarse sea salt on top. Okay. Well, now we're going to finish the tomatoes with the main highlight of the dish, which is the frozen coconut milk.
This is just regular coconut milk, which has been frozen with a little bit of sugar to help balance it. This really is what ties the dish all together. What ends up happening is that some chunks stay together, some chunks end up melting, which add a really great texture to the dish. What happens, all the coconut milk that melts ends up becoming almost a dressing on top of it. And the coconut that stays frozen is really great for texture, and you've got this great cold against these room temperature tomatoes. Now to finish our dish, we're going to highlight the dish with fresh herbs and flowers from the garden. We've got a lot of traditional herbs which are used in Thailand and Vietnam. We've got some fresh mint, which we're just going to place on top, which we recently picked from the garden. Okay. We'll use a little bit of variegated opal basil, a little bit of Thai basil as well, a little bit of nasturtium petal, which has this really great peppery kick to it. This is a little bit of glow basil, really intense basil taste in a small leaf. These are actually some of the flowers from the glow basil. And we're going to finish with marigold petals. This is a flower that's got a really great citrusy note. And we're just going to add lots of color to it. And those are the Florida tomatoes.
This dish is great for hot summer days, but if you'd rather eat it at the restaurant, my suggestion is that you visit them soon, as Eating House will only be open at this location until July 31st.
So thank you so much for the culinary adventure, and that's all I have for you from here from the Eating House. Back to you, Balkis.
All right, thanks, Veronica. That does it for this edition of Coral Gables Now. We leave you now with the beautiful fireworks show that lit up the night skies over the Biltmore Hotel on July 4th. We'll see you next month.